All right, everybody, we're back. Welcome to FusionCast episode 4. I'm your host, Fusion64, along with my co-host, Rebel Blood 80. How's it going, bud?
All right, it's good. How are you doing?
Good. I think I can hear some feedback on your end.
Yep. Give me a second to take care of that.
No
I thought I
problem.
had that handled before the video started or the recording started, but
I thought we were going to have a slow week here, but it turns out I'm looking for topics. I'm like, well, what do we got going on? Really just the Mario movie. I haven't been playing a ton much new, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, boom, boom. We get hit with a whole bunch of stuff. We get a Zelda trailer. We get Final Fantasy 16 trailer. We get this Redfall news. We got a ton of stuff happening. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Kind of at a bad time because the weather's actually been pretty good.
Dude.
And so I haven't been playing much either.
I'm sure people don't know, but we live in the same area, and it went from like 40 to like 70, 80 almost. It's hot. Not hot, but like when you're not, you know, that first hot of when it turns cold, it's hot. So
I got a little thermostat I keep over here by my computer just to, monitor temperatures because I'm that PC guy. And right now it says it's 86 in my little corner, 86 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's boiling.
And yeah, we're not turning the air on either yet. So like, and it goes from like hot, and then so you open the window and sleep with the fan on, and then you're freezing in like the middle of the night. So
yeah. But I'd rather have this than just the permanent cold, rainy weather.
Totally. Couldn't agree more. Oh, yeah, so like I said, I'm like scrambling this weekend. I'm like, all right, well, we could talk about tomorrow, and then we get all this stuff happening within the last day or two, which is exciting. Definitely would rather have this than not have anything to talk about. So,
right.
So have you been playing
I thought it
any
was going to
games?
be slow. I thought it was going to be slow, too. No. Before the podcast, I was going to actually make a purchase, which I still might make while we're here discussing. I've been playing a lot of Vampire Survivors.
That game is so good. I keep bugging him on Twitter to bring it to PlayStation and Switch.
Buy it on PC. I'm sure your Mac could run it.
Probably, but I was thinking almost about if I get a Steam Deck here that I might get it for that too. So we'll see. I'm still debating.
Run it too.
I'm almost like debating, like, do I keep that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom limited edition Switch, or do I?
Oh, you went through and you got it, huh?
I did, yeah. I got it from Amazon, and then along with the collector's edition of Zelda, it came up like last week, and I got it, which is exciting.
Very cool. That thing looks really cool.
Yeah, it does look cool, but it's like, all right, I'm not gonna open it, so I was like, should I get this thing and just keep it in the box, or should I just get the Steam Deck? So,
well, you already have what, 2 Switches?
I mean, I have one, and my kids each have one, so.
Oh, you got 3 Switches.
Yeah.
And whatever your kids own, you own, right?
Right. Totally. Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah. I mean, you paid for it, right?
Right. Yeah. Yep. So they didn't pay for it. But did you buy the Vampires Survivors DLC?
Not yet. I am right this second, though.
Yeah.
Because it just dropped, I believe, today. So
nice.
I was actually playing it. I've been playing it both on Steam and on Xbox because we got an Xbox in the bedroom. So I just kind of been laying in bed and playing it before bed because it's a 30-minute time limit. So you know how long you're going to be playing for. So I could say like, okay, I'm going to go to bed in 30 minutes and start playing this game.
Right.
And it's not too complicated. You just walk around and point your character, and stuff happens automatically. It's so still awesome. So addictive, though.
It's so awesome. Like when I first played that game, I think I was telling you, I turned it on. I'm like, what is this baby shit? And then I'm like, 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. It is. Yeah, it's so cool.
Next week, look forward to my thoughts on the new DLC.
All right, that's nice. Yeah, I've just been running through a lot of the same stuff. I'm towards the end of Metroid Prime. I got like the plasma beam or whatever. I think that's the last beam you get. So I beat the Walking Dead VR game, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. That's awesome. And I bought this kayak VR game where you basically, I mean, you're in a kayak and you can either like free roam like a few different levels or you could race, which is like, it's a workout. It's a pretty decent game.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's more of the lines of experience. I mean, the racing is pretty intense, and like it's got leaderboards, and you see the ghosts, and they're just flying by me. I'm like, oh man. I mean, it takes skill to like maneuver this thing.
Is it skill, or did people figure out like tricks, like
Maybe
putting a cord on the controller and just swinging it? Like,
I don't know. I think it does take some kind of skill.
okay,
I'm wondering if it has crossplay because there's a ton of people on the leaderboards already. So I wonder if it has crossplay with Quest because I know it's on Quest too. So, but yeah, it definitely does take skill.
do they have generic accessories for it? Can you get like a fake kayak or to put the controllers in?
And no, I don't think they do. That would be cool.
Oh, that's a bummer.
That's the only
Remember
thing.
all that
the Wii
Nintendo
stuff?
Wii crap? Yeah.
Right, yeah. And like everybody would just make those from like 3D printers or whatever.
Yeah, there's so much crap that came with the
the
Wii.
Sense controllers are big orbs, so I really don't know if there's anything. I'm sure they could probably make something, but it's not nearly as easy as like making a mold for a Wii controller.
All right, I know what you need to do. What you need to do is you need to, you know, those tubes on the inside of paper towel rolls?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Tape several of those together, and then tape the controllers at the end, and then you got yourself a virtual oar.
My dogs get so pissed though when I play with those things. That's the funny part. I blow into one of them, blow into the tube, and oh yeah, my dog goes ape shit. He's not happy.
I've never.
But I don't have tall ceilings, so I couldn't really. I don't want to break stuff either.
Oh, shouldn't you be sitting down though to get the real experience?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Sitting down with your legs out in front of you.
You might, if you swing around enough, it'd probably whack your couch at my couch and stuff like that. So I've been standing. I don't have where my VR is set up. I don't have. It's probably only like a 5x5, 5x6 area. It's definitely not enough for room scale. So.
Oh, you need a dedicated VR room at this point. You're all in,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Although I'm playing it less than I played it the first, week, which is typical for VR. You start off playing it all the time, and then it's less and less and less and less until you're not playing it at all for months. But
are you still feeling strong about the PSVR?
I mean,
too?
I'm feeling strong about the lineup is really good. I'm not feeling strong about where it's at in the marketplace and what it's doing. I mean, they don't market it. They're not selling it in stores. And I don't know. That's just not a recipe for success. It almost feels like a product where, like, say you're in a corporation and there's like two split sides that are like, we want to launch this product, and the other side's like, no, we're not launching this product. And they're finally like, fuck it, we'll launch the product, but we're not doing shit for it. And so like the one side wants it to fail, so they like throw it out there with no support, and it's just weird. It's so weird.
Oh, how long till they retire it? 6 months?
No, it'll go. I mean, I think it'll last. It'll probably last for like a couple of years at the least.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I still have yet to try VR. We got to get together so I can try some VR.
I should just like drop it off by your house one day so you can like try it for like a week or two.
Oh, I don't know if I got the room for VR in my house.
Well, a lot of the stuff is seated, so like I mean, you could even try Gran Turismo because all you gotta do is hold a controller.
Oh, that's true.
And then,
I still have yet to get that game though.
A lot of the stuff if you got room to stand, you're probably good. And I mean, most of them you can sit. Like you don't have to stand and do it. You just gotta like stick your arms out, really. So.
It's got really good room tracking too, doesn't it? Like you outline your whole room and like all the obstacles.
Yeah, the Quest does that too. Like, yeah, you can like kind of a button and you kind of like spray like the ceiling and the floor, and you outline like it's called like the Quest called it a Guardian. I don't know if this is a Guardian or not, but basically, yeah. And then like once you get close to it, it'll show like a red circle, it through your headset to know that you're getting close or whatever. So.
Yeah, I'd be down to try it.
Yeah, definitely. Some coming up soon here. I'll probably once we get maybe one of these big games, I'll just be like, okay, here, take this for a while, and then you let me know. Although you got cats, don't you?
I do, but they're old.
Okay. I'm allergic to cats, and I remember at one time I borrowed a sweater from your sister, and she had cats. And she gave it back to me, and I'm allergic to cats. And we went out to eat with my family. I put the sweater on, and all of a sudden, like my eyes started pouring, and I'm sneezing at the table. And I'm like, they're like,
Oh,
"What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And then I realized like 30 minutes later, I'm like, "Oh my god, I got this sister sweater back, and she has cats." So yeah,
don't worry, I won't rub it all over my cats and then give it back to
you'll
you.
just have to like clean it up. So
I'll wipe it down.
right.
They're really old though. My cats, they're like 18 or 19 years old at
Oh my
this point.
god, that's
Yeah,
old.
they don't do much of anything anymore
That's old. So
except annoy me.
other than that, the only other things that I played Resident Evil 4 had that Mercenaries mode drop last week on Friday, which is
Yeah,
it's good. It's good. I mean
nice.
it's I wish it was a little bit more in depth because it's basically just it's 3 levels and you've got 4 characters: Leon, Louise, Hunk, and what the hell is his name? It starts with a K. Freaking Kruger, Crater, Krauser, yeah. And each guy, you go around, you kill the infected as many as you can. It's score based, and you're basically playing like leaderboards online and stuff with that. And like each player has like an ultimate ability. So I mean, it's pretty cool. I wish it was a little bit more in depth, like maybe had like some kind of gun leveling system or something like that. Uh, did you see people were crying because they added microtransactions to it?
I was going to bring that up after we were talking about the Mercenaries mode.
Yeah, it's so
I've only
dumb.
played one Mercenaries mode. Did you ever play Resident Evil Revelations 2?
I did, and I may have played that mode like 1 or 2 times. I didn't finish Revelations 2. I think I got like halfway through it, and I think I only played that mode very shortly. But like, they think this is the first Mercenaries mode I played. I think. Oh, you know what? I played the Mercenaries mode in Revelations 1 on like the 3DS because that's where I beat that game because it originally was a 3DS exclusive.
Right, right. It, in that one, in Revelations 2, your characters like level up and stuff like that. Is there anything like that in
Mm.
this new one?
No. No, it's just basically you go and there's a timer, and I think when you kill the infected, they give you like bonus time, and there's little orbs around the environment that either give you time or fill your special meter up. So that's kind of how it just keeps going, and then you get a ranking at the end. You've got like a number score, and then it gives you a ranking of like F through S plus plus basically, and then you can put it on the leaderboards. And I'm sure it's probably got like some friend leaderboard integration and stuff like that. But that's basically it. You're just chasing high scores, which it's like the mode is really cool. I just wish it was a little bit more in depth.
Well, it sounds decent for free, but the
Totally,
game
yeah.
is
Oh yeah, totally. It's like
selling
an
like crazy.
extra couple hours out of that. Yeah, totally.
So I bet they add more levels and charge for them.
Yeah, you know what? I think that there's that like Ada Wong DLC, like story DLC that I guess came to the PlayStation 2 version of RE4, but it didn't like it wasn't in the GameCube. Well, they didn't have DLC back then. It must. I think it came on disc maybe for the PS2 version at least, from what I heard.
Right.
I
And I
never played it
think it's
before.
on all the remaster
Probably,
versions of
yeah.
4 as well, but I have not made it that far to.
But I think that was data mined, and I guess that's supposedly coming. I think they data mined a couple more characters and maybe levels. So, like I
Yeah.
said, I'll probably just keep it installed just for all that stuff because I love the game so much.
With the additions of the microtransactions, though, I'm willing to bet they're going to charge for the extra levels.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Totally, I would give them. I honestly, I would have paid $100 for this game. That's how much I love it. It's totally
Stop
worth
saying
it.
stuff like that. 'Cause
I know.
soon you will be.
Right? Yeah, totally. But like, I know people made a big deal. Like, yeah, they ruined the game and they had microtransactions. It's like, dude, you literally. It doesn't even mention the microtransaction at all in the game. So basically, it's you'll have your main menu like story, mercenaries, options, and then the bottom one says PlayStation Store. You click on that, it takes you to the store, and then it's just like the upgrade tickets to upgrade like the your gun to like the top level without grinding for it. And it's not even a grind, whatever. It's dumb. That's literally the only thing that's in there.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all because the other remakes and even 8 they released the all in-game unlock microtransactions where you unlocked all the infinite ammo weapons and stuff like that.
Right.
Because I know it was in the remake of 2, remake of 3, and 8, and then 7. I don't think they had it, but I think they had special coins you could buy and keep in your inventory that gave you an advantage.
Right.
So they've been doing it for a while. It's nothing new.
Yeah, and
It's just more microtransaction because you got to buy multiple tickets to upgrade a gun. Is that why they're selling multiple ticket packs?
I think you have to buy one ticket per gun. So like
To
if you
upgrade
bought
it
like
once, but not all the way.
each gun has like different levels for like damage, reload, and then it's got like a special ability at the end. Once you upgrade all like 4 paths, basically, so the tickets let you skip like all the other incremental upgrades and just get like usually the special upgrade is like 1.5 damage, or like I was saying last week, the upgrade on like the pistol and the SMG was like shoot through 5 different guys. So it allows you to skip upgrading it all the way without, in order to get that like special ability. And
Yeah,
it's only for the
doesn't
story too, so it's not like if you're using it in this like mercenaries mode or whatever. It's kind of dumb to complain about, but whatever.
Yeah, it'd be kind of shady if it was like a one-time use. Like if you deleted your saved game and then went in there again and you didn't have the tickets you paid for.
I didn't even know about that. Maybe, yeah. Who knows? Don't delete it.
You're the only one. I don't own the game. You own the game. You
I
gotta
don't
look into
know.
this.
I'm not
stuff
going to
for
buy
us.
it, or I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it and delete the game. So. And then the other game, I went back to Hogwarts because I'm kind of just trying to clear stuff up because we've got a busy. It's going to be busy here soon. I've got that Horizon DLC next week, and what do we got? Are you planning on getting Jedi Survivor at the end of the month?
I actually am seriously considering it because I waited on the first Jedi game.
Same.
And when I got it for super cheap. That game goes on sale for like $5. It seems like every other week.
Yeah, it's cheap.
And the moment I played it, I instantly fell in love. And I'm very leery of EA games.
Oh, yeah.
I hate just paying full price for their game, so I always wait for a sale. And that last one was so good that I'm willing to take a chance on this one.
I think that was one of the games that I saw, and I'm like, okay, well, we're ready for new consoles. It doesn't look great. It runs at 30. I'm like, all right, we need new consoles. And I think I played the demo of it because it was on EA Access or something. And I was like, all right, this is trying to be Dark Souls and like Uncharted kind of a mix, but it doesn't do either really good. And then I think I played it like a year or two ago and beat it. And I was like, all right, this is good. So yeah. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not.
Oh, you played and beat it after they fixed all the jank, because when I played it, there was still a lot of jank in it, and like you would be trying to make a jump, and your character totally misses the rope the uncharted rope you were jumping for to make multiple jumps, and you just fall in an endless pit and have to do it all over again. I was like, God, the game was so great up until stuff like that. The combat was awesome. You felt like a real badass Jedi.
It was missing that magnetism for the rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it on PS5 at 60, so like I played it like a year maybe or two ago, something like that. So I don't know. I mean, we've got a tight window of stuff coming out between what is that, end of April, and then Zelda's like the 12th. So I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to clean up stuff, so I went back to Hogwarts and like I almost deleted it. I'm like, because you ever get in a mode where you're just like trying to like finish something. So, because you've got a games or something else coming up, and it's like, okay, you're not super like giving it your full attention.
That it's good that you bring that up because that's going to be my next game. But that almost always happens with Ubisoft games for me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, well, and this is kind of like a Ubisoft style game, so
we should start a ticker every time I rag on Ubisoft
or Square. We do a lot of ragging on Square lately too. So
yeah, I'm probably going to be doing some of that tonight too.
But I think I started doing a little bit more story stuff in there, started to try and mainline it a little bit, and it started to grab me. So I think I'm close to the end too. I think I'm like 36 hours. I think I saved. So
oh wow.
Yeah, I'm close to the end. There's a lot of like collectibles. There's like these you can do where your spell is called Revelio, and it like kind of scans the area basically. And there's these like little pages for like little collectibles that are all over. You could lose like 20 hours collecting these things. It's almost like a Crackdown type thing where you're collecting orbs.
You got to chase them like an Assassin's Creed.
Some of them,
God, I hated those things.
some of them you do, but most of them are just still. You just gotta find them. It's like it pulls when you whenever you do that. There's a little chime, so you gotta find out where exactly the page is.
I want to find the guy that put that into those games and grab him or her by the collar and just smack them around a little bit. I hated chasing those things.
Totally, but like it started to grab me. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna finish this. So the world is really good. It is awesome in that game. It's like they've done a great job with the world. The combat is different because I don't know. I've never really played a game where you're just using like spells and you're fighting like that kind of. So it's something new. But I mean, when boils down to it, it is like a Ubisoft style game.
Well, you're gonna need to keep avoiding spoilers because you are much further than me. I am currently only right after the first cutscene in the game.
Of what,
So
Hogwarts?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know you got it.
Oh yeah, I had it.
Oh,
I've
okay.
I've had it for I don't know,
Two
a
months.
while.
Okay. Yeah.
A while. I'm trying to remember when it came out. I didn't buy it right when it came out. It went on some sort of Steam sale and I picked it up.
I think I saw like basically what happens at the end. You know, those people that were trying to ruin the story for people. I clicked on like a Twitter thread and saw it, and I'm like, whatever. But yeah,
Well,
I'm still enjoying it. So
yeah, I'll get to it. Maybe I'll try to get to it this week. Because, well, that is if I could peel myself away from Vampire Survivors.
right, it's good. It's worth playing, I think. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I got to finish this thing because I wanted to get Horizon's like a deep like game combat wise. So I'm like, I got to get like a good 3 to 5 hours like practice in. 'Cause it's been over a year since I played the original game before I start this DLC and stuff. So that's kind of wanted to be like done with this by Sunday so I could reinstall Horizon and screw around with it until the DLC comes out. I think next Wednesday or Thursday, Tuesday or the 19th, whatever day that is. So
You have a added on hard drive for your PS5?
no,
Oh, you should get one.
nah, you
Prices
know what?
are dropping like crazy, man.
I might wait if this Slim comes out at the end of this year and see if they add any size to the SSD. If not, before like right when I get it, I will just add like a 2 terabyte in there or something like that.
They're not going to add any size to it.
Well, I don't
We're
know.
good.
Well, they did. I mean, obviously that you're talking about a hard drive and SSD, but the PS4 Slim where they had it started off 500 and then it went to 1 terabyte.
Well, that was necessary because
Yeah,
a single
Call of
game
Duty
was
was
taking up.
200 gigabytes. Right.
Yeah,
It still is.
but they could cheap out on the systems just doing 1 terabyte now, and that's enough for the system OS and at least a couple of games for people.
Well, I mean, even if they went to a terabyte, this PS5 is only like 856 or something like that before a system OS. It's not a full
Is it
terabyte.
really?
Yeah, it's not a full terabyte.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Even so, going from that to a full terabyte isn't gonna be that big of a difference. So you still need an external one.
Right, yeah.
And
These damn games as a service. But that's it, really. I mean, speaking of Ubisoft games, did you see that Xbox got Ubisoft Plus today?
I was on my Xbox not too long ago. They seem to be having problems because I don't have access to any of my games. So I didn't look it up yet, but Xbox servers might be having issues. But I did see on the dashboard Ubisoft Plus. Is that what it's called? Ubisoft Plus?
$17.99 a month for that
Is
shit.
it? I didn't click on it because I'm not
Oh.
interested in it because I'm not a fan of Ubisoft, even though I own just about everything they release.
You would have to like put a gun to my children's head for me to sign up for that for $17.99 a month. No, thank you. That and I feel like a service for those games I just doesn't feel like it's worth it because they're so massive. It's like I don't even know, and they go on sale for like half price within like a month or two.
Yeah, and when I buy them, when I bought Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's when they get the ultimate versions and they're $20 or less.
Right.
I do not pay. I will never pay full price for an Ubisoft game.
I mean,
Which brings me to the other game that I was playing this week. I went back to Valhalla.
oh, did you?
Yeah, you know what? I don't like that game.
You know, I didn't play that one. I got too burnt out on the other two, so I'm like, I'm skipping this one.
Don't even bother.
And I heard
I,
it was like it wasn't as good as the previous two, so I'm like, all right, well, I'm good.
yeah, no, it's not as good as them. Assassin's Creed Origins might be the best last one, just because of the sheer focus that they had on making that game, and then Odyssey was neat because it brought back ship combat, and that was really cool. But I think
Shit
the
combat.
ship combat.
Shit combat. Yeah, it does have shit combat. I fucking hate the ship combat, man.
Really? So you
Yeah.
didn't like Assassin's Creed 4?
I did like Assassin's Creed 4, but they made you start doing it too damn much in like Odyssey and the other ones.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. 4 is still my favorite. 4 was the best
4 is
the
awesome. Yeah, I love 4.
series has ever been.
Yep.
I got that with my Xbox One, and it was awesome times.
Yeah, that was a good
Back
game.
when the record feature was brand new.
Right.
And so I was recording like clips of murdering multiple people at once without getting hit and stuff. Oh, it was good times back then.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, the Valhalla, it's too big. It's boring. I find myself yelling at the TV because you're a Viking, right?
Yeah.
And then you're on your horse making your way somewhere, and some old lady goes, "Oh dear, oh my," and you stop, and your Viking character in England, who should be raping and pillaging, goes, "Oh, how can I help you?" And it's just like, what the hell?
You know what? The DLC for that, like the Ragnarok DLC, actually looks pretty cool.
I played a little bit of it. I wasn't high enough level.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was playing this game a little bit Saturday, and I was just kind of running around doing collectibles and some side quests, and I just got really bored really fast. And that's when I went back to Vampire Survivors, and that straightened me out.
Oh.
I felt much better about myself.
There you go. It's a better game.
A much better game.
Anything else?
No, I think that. Well, I went back into that game with the Colts, and got some achievements that I thought I locked myself out of.
Nice.
And I was gonna go back and beat it again, but it just might be too soon.
Yeah.
To go back through that, because I only got the chant. That's what the game is called, the chant.
Okay. That was the one that you said that was really mediocre?
Yeah, it was mediocre, but it helped pass the time, and for a super cheap discount, it might be worth it, but not for the price that they're selling at it. Even at the sale price I paid for it, like $15, I think that's too much.
You hate yourself. We're going back and playing a mediocre game and in a Ubisoft game this week, so I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah, it's abuse. I just abused myself. That's all it is.
I took the kids and my wife to go see the Mario movie Saturday.
All right, I've not seen it yet, so talk about the movie.
I won't spoil.
For me and for your viewers.
It was good. It was really good. I loved it. My kids, they were glued to their seats. There was a whole bunch of like musical montages where they play like pop music, and then they play a ton of like Nintendo music in there. So like they were like glued to it the whole time. And it's a rather short movie. It's like an hour and 20 minutes or something.
So why are critics hating the movie?
Because they're not Nintendo and Mario fans, and I can totally see like if you're not a Nintendo and Mario fan and you don't get like a lot of the references, I can totally see why, I wouldn't say it's a 56 like where they have it at Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it that low?
Yeah, that's the critics.
It's been a couple of days since I looked at it.
It was at one point 56. It started at like a 48, I think, and it got up to 56 at least one point.
Well,
but like,
yeah, it was like 64 last time I saw
it. Okay. But like the audience score, I think last time I saw it was in the 90s. So like, yeah, I mean, it's very, they made it for fans, which in my review, I got a video on the channel where I reviewed it. And I think, when you do this stuff, I think it's most important to make this stuff for the fans. And that's what they did.
100% on everything, on video games, on movies,
and I think
books,
that's where like I was talking about the Halo show, where it's like they were like, well, let's try and make this for a broader audience, and the fucking fans hate the show. It's like, all right, well,
I hated it.
You don't have anybody now. If you didn't make it for the fans, it didn't really lure in a whole bunch of new people, and now nobody likes it. So you guys kind of screwed yourself on that. But Dude, there are so many awesome Easter eggs in that movie. So many. It's so good. Ah, man.
Are
It's
there
such a fun
any
movie.
Super Mario RPG Easter eggs in it?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't remember. But like there's like stuff from every era of Nintendo Easter eggs in there. Yeah, dude. Such a good movie. I mean, obviously, okay, let me back up. It was a fun movie because I'm a Nintendo fan and a Mario fan. But like, I asked my wife, and I'm like, "What'd you think of the movie?" She's like, "Oh, it was all right." She's like, "The plot was really shallow." I'm like, "Okay, well, yeah, I could totally see if you're not a Nintendo or Mario fan. I guess I've seen all those. If you've seen the Illumination movies, it kind of follows the same movie style as those." Like the Invisible Me and Despicable Me and Minions movies, where it's just a whole bunch of like scenes with jokes. Then there's music montages, and then yeah. So I think that's a lot of why the critics don't like it because a lot of the Illumination movies are pretty similar. But dude, it's blowing up. It's gonna like hit like $1 billion basically.
Good, good.
Yeah,
And hopefully
totally.
we get a sequel, and hopefully they maybe make some other movies.
You know, I thought there was a rumor that they were in talks to do a Donkey Kong movie afterwards with Seth Rogen. So that's a possibility. What other Nintendo franchises would you do for like a movie or slash TV show?
Well, Donkey Kong makes perfect sense because you could definitely make that into a movie, right?
Totally, yeah, totally.
Uh, the one that I would want to see that they would never do because it's not a safe bet and it probably would do decently well, but not as well as Mario or Donkey Kong would be a Metroid.
Yeah, would you do that like a real like a live action movie or
Oh no, God, no, that would be terrible.
yeah, you know what I was thinking like almost it would that might be better as like a series like Castlevania, like an animated series like Castlevania was.
You know how it would be good would be similar to those Resident Evil animated movies,
Okay,
the
yeah.
CGI ones, or uh, not the original one,
Hopefully
but
not like
the
that
Final
Resident Evil
Fantasy.
TV show that they had on Netflix and canceled
Oh
after.
God, no. But or like the Final Fantasy movies,
Yeah,
do it more adult theme like that, but they would never do it because it seems like they barely give Metroid any love now as it is.
my wife
And
fucking loves those Resident Evil, the Mila Jovovich movies. Loves them,
I'm
loves
not even
them.
talking about those ones. Have you never seen the 3D
I've
animated ones?
I've seen like the trailers from. 'Em. I've never watched them, but like she loves those, and I'm like, dude, these are awful. I'm like, they totally bastardized the damn game. And she's like, oh, we've literally went to the theaters to see every one of those fucking shitty ass movies.
I think I seen all of them in theaters too,
Yeah,
and I like them. They're great.
they're
Like
you know what? Yeah, they're fine, stupid fucking movies. But
exactly.
I'm like, please just make it like the fucking game. Seriously.
I have this class of movie that I put them in, and it's like the when you're sick or when you're just trying to like nod off, but you need something on. That's the type of movie you put on. Something that you don't need to pay attention to. Something that you could pass out and wake up and go, oh, okay, this is what's happening now.
They're kind of crazy. They're almost like the Fast and Furious movies, stupidity
Yeah,
level.
those fall in the same
Yes, yep.
category.
Yeah. Like the first like two Fast and Furious movies were good, really good, and then they all just got like more crazy and dumber and over the top. Then I checked out like when they went to space or something. I forgot, or when they jumped into a tower in Abu Dhabi or something with a car.
I don't even know if I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I own all of them. I don't. They're all just a blur.
I would totally take. What do you think would be good for? They've got to be like in talks to do a Zelda one. You would think, because Tears of the Kingdom is coming out. Breath of the Wild was super popular, so like there's got to be like a Zelda movie or TV show coming. You would think, right?
It as only if it had animation from those
Yeah.
Philips CDI
Oh
games.
God, yeah, right. They should just make
And if you
sequels
don't
of
know what I'm
those.
talking about, you should look those up. There's plenty of videos of people playing those games.
Right.
They are so awful, and there's actual animated scenes of them with voice acting, and it is terrible, but it's hilarious,
Oh
and I
man.
love it.
Now that would make like a decent like animated Netflix series. I don't know if they could go. If Illumination style, like the Illumination style, like gag funnies, that's not like Zelda's like theme really. I don't know if they could pull that off.
No, it would have to be animated. You know what
Animated
else they could do?
seriously, kind of, and I don't know if that sells really. Like,
They could do Fire Emblem, but make it anime style, since the characters are already really anime to begin with in those games.
right? That's
Or
what
maybe there is a Fire Emblem because of how big Fire Emblem is in Japan,
there's a
movie or series.
there's a
I don't know.
there's a Horizon, the PlayStation brand TV show that they're gonna make it for Netflix, which is like, and it's live action, and I'm like, I don't know that that's not a Last of Us to where you can get away with some broken down cars and stuff like that. Robot Dinosaurs requires like a little bit bigger of a budget. I don't know if they can pull that off.
I'll only watch it if it has the same writer/director from the Resident Evil TV show on Netflix.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm actually lying. I won't watch it at all then.
That's funny. No, but a Metroid show that would be pretty decent. I don't know. They're gonna have a tough time pulling a lot of these off. Somebody was saying a Luigi's Mansion like movie would be pretty decent.
Maybe as like a direct-to-video, but not in theaters, I don't think.
Yeah, maybe not. It wouldn't do like well. I don't think anything's gonna do what the Mario movie is gonna do, basically money wise and viewership wise.
You remember direct-to-video stuff?
Oh yeah.
VHS?
Yep.
Remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and how I think it was Burger King. If you went to Burger King, your parents could pay, I don't know, $10 or something, and there was an exclusive straight to video episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles you could get from Burger King.
Really, I didn't know.
Yeah, I have like one or two of them, or I did. I might have tossed them out because I don't even have a VCR anymore.
Do you remember the Ninja Turtles had like their like a band and they would tour? Like that was when those live action movies came out.
No, I remember it, but I never got to see
Well,
it or
I
anything
didn't get to
like
see it either, but but yeah, that's the Mario movie, Mario franchise, and hopefully a Donkey Kong. I know there's gonna be a sequel for sure, and then maybe they spin off like Zelda or Metroid franchises or whatnot.
What game do you think they mimic the next, without giving any spoilers for this one? They mimic the next Mario movie off of Mario Galaxy, Mario Sunshine.
There is like little tidbits from all of the games in the movies, like so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They give an Easter egg at the end. Like there's like a mid and post credit scene. They kind of give an Easter egg to what they're gonna go with next. So I can't really tell. It would be giving away the post credit scene if I did that.
All right, we'll get back together in a couple of months and talk about the actual movie after more people have been able to,
They're like,
see it.
you spoiled the movie for me on your stupid podcast. People leaving bad comments. Did you happen to
It would be me leaving those comments.
Right. Did you happen to check out the Zelda trailer today?
I did not. I did not get a chance to watch it.
It's a good trailer. I mean, it's not. I think it's only like 3 minutes or whatever. It goes into a lot of like story stuff. I mean, I don't think it really spoils much, but it looks like there's a whole bunch of new characters. The what do you call like the 4 freaking characters that were in the game that you
Oh, the champions,
the
or
champions?
the heroes.
Yeah. They're looks like they're back. Zelda's got some short hair. She looks nice.
Nice.
Nice, but it was an epic trailer. I think it get you. There's some like classic Zelda music in it, and I think it'll get you hyped up for the game.
You know what though? I tend to avoid story trailers.
Oh yeah, totally. I don't think you'll.
I prefer gameplay. So the last trailer or
Yeah,
Nintendo
the
Direct was
whatever.
okay for me because they showed actual gameplay and
Right.
how things worked. But when it comes to story, I don't. It's not because they're not going to give you spoilers, right? But I just want to experience all of that for the first time.
Right.
So I tend to stay away from that stuff. But if it's looking good, it's looking good.
Yep.
My hopes are high for it.
Mine are too. Yeah. Nothing much else to say about that. I mean, yeah, it looks great. It was a good story trailer, so go play it. Let's get into the big juicy topic of the week, and that
Oh, yeah?
is
What's that?
Redfall. Are you excited about Redfall?
No, but I never was. So
I
your
was.
news that you
I was
claim victory for,
excited. Did you watch the video?
I did. It did. I gave you a thumbs down.
Did you? That's fine. It still counts as like interaction. So Redfall, they came out and said that at launch, Xbox Series X and S are both gonna have only a resolution mode at 30 frames per second, and they said a performance mode will be added at a later date. When you say when you see this something like at a later date, I feel like that's like a precursor to a couple months where they come out and say that we've made the difficult decision to cancel the yada yada yada. So it doesn't sound like at a later date doesn't sound like it's anywhere close really to after launch.
That doesn't really bother me because I am actually a big fan of arcane games.
Yes.
I own all of them, maybe.
Well,
I don't know. I would have to review their list, but
you'll probably play it on PC, won't you?
Yeah, where if it's 30 frames on my PC, then I'll have a fit of rage, but I doubt it will be. And I disagree with your video.
Okay.
Because
I got to introduce where my stance first before you can disagree with it.
No, let me make my argument and then no, go ahead. Introduce your stance on it.
So I think that this is a bad look. It's a very bad look. Because obviously the game's not basically, I mean, you could say the game's finished, but it's not like feature complete really.
Yeah, but if FPS was a feature for you, why are you not PC gaming?
Well, because they've conditioned everybody here on console to 60 frames right off the bat right now. Especially first party. First party, is supposed to take full advantage of the machine, and first party's not supposed to have these half-ass launches like this.
But is Redfall first party, or was it already in development?
It was already in development, to be fair, but
yeah,
I think a lot of people are like looking at this as like the start, quote unquote, of a new era for Xbox, and this is one of their big games people are looking forward to. So I just think it's a bad look when you're looking at it's. They've been having they had an abysmal 2022 with no really big first party games. They had Pentiment, and then if you want to call Grounded 1.0 launch, although the game came out like a year or two ago. The issues with Halo Infinite, like coming out and then not having any content, like it's a disaster. They basically killed that game by not like having their shit together. And then now like this doesn't seem like a good, like just delay the game until that is ready. I don't see why, because the Redfall's not going to be a huge, it's an arcane game. You know how much those sell, right? Like not at all. Like even like Deathloop sold like shit on PlayStation.
It's so that's because it was on PlayStation. That's why.
No, I just think the other arcane games don't sell either, really. So
no, they don't. They tend to do pretty poorly, and they usually get pretty damn good critic reviews, or at least decent critic reviews. But ultimately, they sell poorly. They're kind of niche.
This game's gonna be like a word of mouth game, and so
which their games always are.
And like this is not a game like that the casual audience is gonna know, or they're gonna. This is where when like Phil Spencer talks about Game Pass, the Game Pass effect, where he talks about like people's like friends lists, like say we've got 5 friends and we're like the hardcore gamers of like the group, and our friends see that we're playing this game that's on Game Pass, and they're like, oh, what's this game? Blah 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 blah, and so they look to us to see what we're playing. And obviously, if this game launches and it's, we're the hardcore and we're like, what the fuck? There's no 30 frames per second, or there's no 60 frames. Obviously, we're not going to be, the hardcore's not going to be spreading the word about the game. And honestly, like the hardcore Xbox fans on Twitter were pissed about this. Like they were not happy about this because, like I said, they've conditioned us basically to 60 frames per second for these past, 2.5 years.
All right, I agree with you. The game should be 60 frames per second. But now, you could call me an Xbox fanboy. Your viewers could call me an Xbox fanboy. But I'm really not. I'm more PC gaming now.
Right.
And I own all the systems.
Yes.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
If the game releases and it's 100% fine. I mean, sure, there's probably going to be minor glitches here or there because that's every game in existence nowadays. But if it just functions right out of the gate like it's supposed to for majority of people at 30 frames per second, I'll take that as a win. And if the game's fun, even better. I'll be okay with them introducing 60 frames or more later on down the line. And I say this because Arcane doesn't do open worlds, and so this is an open world, so that could have been a factor on it. It was in development before Xbox bought them. I think there is a problem with Xbox touting this as a huge AAA or quadruple A game because it's not going to be.
No.
Because that's not Arcane's style. I think they got thrown underneath the bus too for what was the game you brought up earlier? Deathloop.
Deathloop, yeah.
For promoting Deathloop the way they did. I just want the game to function like the developers intended to, and if it comes out and it's 60 frames later, it's still though it better be 60 frames per second on PC, because I'm going to download it on Game Pass for PC,
right?
And I'll let you know if it's more or less good or not there. So I don't see this as PlayStation winning the war over this game. I think
I didn't get to that yet. We didn't get to that yet. I'm still on Redfall. We're still on Redfall. I know. I'm totally cool. If it like comes out, you guys, if anybody enjoys it at 30 frames, I'm not gonna be like, you're wrong. It needs to be, But I think for a lot of people, like first person shooters, especially, we've been conditioned to 60 frames for a few years. It's like, oh man. And they even like if they came out and were like, our vision for this game is like 30 frames per second. This is what it's going to be, then it's like, all right, well, I guess you got to eat it. But when they come out and they know that it needs a 60 frames per second mode because they came out and said that, like, oh, it's going to be available later. It's like, come on, you should be launching it with that then, if that's what, if that that it's that big of a deal. It's just a huge bummer. And like I said, this game is coming out May 2nd, I think. It's like sandwiched within like a week each of like Jedi Survivor and Zelda.
Yeah, it's
like, why not just delay it? It's like it's gonna get his lunch eaten anyways, even though it's free on Game Pass, I think.
I think it's going to be a good game at 30 frames per second, because I don't think they would be releasing it right now because they've had so much bad press, as you were saying, with the poor reception to Halo. Grounded is really cool. If you haven't played that yet,
I played it when it came out, when it was like in beta. It's decent, yeah.
Oh no, you got to play it now at full release. It is
okay.
really awesome now. Yeah, it's much better, and it would be a great game to play with your kids. But still, that's not a win for Xbox. They have been making really bad decisions, and they need.
I just want them to release I mean, I'm not like, oh yeah, this game fucking sucks. Like, I just want it. Like, the game looks good. Like, I was interested in it because it's vampires. I'm tired. I'm not tired of zombies, but it's something different that you're shooting at. It looks neat, the powers and stuff. I just wanted to give it its best chance to be successful, so it's not like, all right, well, this game didn't do well. There's not gonna be another one. And I think. Between this and then launching it, like I said, in between those two games, so close to those two games, it's like, I don't see why you just don't delay it. Give it a better window to where it's by itself, kind of, and it's because it's going to get dinged probably in review scores for launching at 30 on console, probably.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that, because if the game's fun, the game's fun.
Yeah.
If the game's working, the game's working. And if the game's working and fun, because that doesn't happen all the time now, then I think that's a win. But I do think they need that killer app. They need that Horizon Zero Dawn. They need that Uncharted game. They need what's that game by the company that they bought? Hellblade. They need Hellblade.
Oh yeah.
Where's Hellblade?
It's just annoying that it's like it almost seems like they haven't learned their lesson with Halo. It's like, man, get this thing out when it's right. Did you see the gameplay that they? I guess there was some other controversy with IGN. They let IGN do a preview of this game, and I guess the person playing it was not doing a good job, and almost looks like when someone who doesn't play first person shooters is playing a game, you can tell with like their movement basically.
That's all video game reviewers though
And
now.
then I
That
guess I don't
none
know.
of
They
them
may
are video gamers. I mean, look at that guy that played what's the animated game where the guy couldn't even jump over the tutorial?
oh, Cuphead.
Cuphead.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, look at that guy playing Cuphead. He couldn't even get past the tutorial and he reviews games for a living. Come on.
right. I
It
know.
was a 2D platformer.
It just
You
it
jump.
just made the way the reviewer or the person playing it was playing it made it look bad. I guess basically. So I mean, it's been a tough week for that, but I
They
I'm
they
planting
need
my
a killer
flag.
game.
I'm planting my flag now. Now we can get into the battle here.
Go
I
for it. What's the battle?
before we get into that, what do you think? I think this is a bad sign for Starfield on the Series X. You
Uh,
think if I'm like I think bet all everything you have is Starfield going to be 60 on the Series X or is it going to be 30?
I don't think Bethesda games are ever 60 frames per second on systems.
Right. I mean, I
I'll have
think
to
uh
check again, but I don't think Oblivion was. I don't think the original release of Elder Scrolls 5 was.
hmm,
I'll look into that,
yeah.
but
No,
I don't
none of
have high
those
hopes
were.
for that game either.
You don't have high hopes as it being good or just at 60 frames.
Um, Bethesda is really bad about bugs and not fixing
And
them. They let the community, the modders, they let those people fix their games for them, and that kind of upsets me. Even though I love all their games, I loved Oblivion, I love Skyrim, I love the Fallout series. Even though I never beat Fallout 4, I keep trying to go back to that game, and I never beat it. Generally because of bugs.
bugs and optimization, I'd say probably are not their strong suits.
Exactly.
So I don't.
So I
I
expect
would bet
all
that
that to
that's going to be
happen.
30. I'm going to bet Skyrim's going to be 30 or not Skyrim. Starfield's going to be 30 frames per second at launch probably.
It's basically Skyrim in space, right?
Right. And we're gonna be going through all of this again. And
Yeah,
that's where I'm planting my flag in the ground right now and saying I just think between this, so basically my stance in my video was we were about 2.5 years into the console generation. The PS5, I think the Xbox is finally now it's 50-50. Games are running better on each system basically, or resolution. And I just feel like we're in the era. Remember when the 360 wasn't as powerful as the PS3, but it performed better. It was the better designed system for game development. And almost think that's where we're at with the PlayStation 5, unless something turns around between that and this Redfall news. I'm taking the PlayStation 5. They've won the war. They are the better. It is the better designed system.
I don't think that's the case. I think back in the 360 era, I think Microsoft hired better talent, better game developers, and I think they've been making some pretty poor choices in who they're
I'm
hiring
just
for
talking
their.
about third party games ran better. It looked
Well,
better
that
and ran
that
better
too, but that
on the 360, and it's because of the PS3 cell processor. It was a more powerful system technically than the 360. It just games didn't run as well, and they didn't look better. It was harder to build for. So, and I think that we're kind of almost seeing the same thing with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, kind of.
I disagree with you. I don't think that's the case. I think part of the
Well, you
problem
know what? You're
is
wrong.
lazy developers.
I'm like kidding.
Well, how
Sorry.
dare you? No, I'm right and you're wrong. Let us know in the chat who's right. Um, I think it's because of the Series X and Series S.
I was thinking
You
of
know,
that if because Redfall is it's a 4-player co-op tethered game that I wonder if there's an issue if one console's running at 60 and the other one's running at 30 maybe. So maybe they can't get the S to 60, so that is why they're just not putting in the 60 mode for the X yet or something.
that is probably one of the reasons why,
Yeah, I was
in my opinion, to keep parity between the two systems.
right, which is a mistake. Don't punish the Series X owners.
Right. Or drop the Series S down to 1080p and then make it 60 frames per second. But I think the Series S is far more underpowered than they originally stated with all their
Right, totally. Because
lofty.
it was marketed as 1440p, and you hardly ever see games at 1440p on the Series S.
Right.
But I mean,
And I have a
I still
Series S.
can't.
It's neat. It's cool.
I can't say that like it was a bad decision to be like, oh, let's launch this Series S because I mean, you want to get people in your ecosystem, right?
Right. And I think that's the way even PlayStation is going to go in the future. I think that's the way they're going to have to go because they're going to have to release these systems not as a new system, but in stages where it's more like when new PC parts come out and you upgrade your PC, you're not building everything from scratch. You're just replacing what you need to get that competitive edge, right? So I think we're going to see a lot more, not really so much backwards compatibleness. We're going to see um, I don't even know how to describe what I'm thinking of here, but where your game library is going forward with you. Like if I was to build a new PC today, I wouldn't have to buy new games on Steam, right?
Right. Yeah.
I take all my Steam games with me. We're going to have that in these systems. At least that's what Xbox is idea behind the Series S and Series X is, and I think PlayStation is going to have to follow suit because PlayStation 6 comes out and you have all those PS5 games, and they're like, no, you got to buy the PlayStation 6 specific games. Are you going to be upset?
Yeah.
I thought you would be because they got backlash because they didn't want to bring the PlayStation 4 games to PlayStation 5. They got backlash for that.
Right.
So I think my biggest issue with it is I think video game developers for consoles are currently lazy. And when they're complaining about the Series X and Series S differences and how they have to program for both, companies have been doing that for years on PC. And there's an insane number of combinations that you have for hardware on PC, and developers on PC, while not every game comes out perfect, they plan around that. And you're complaining that you have two console variations to program for. I think they need to buck up, get better, and this is on Xbox as a whole.
I'm gonna get toxic here in a second when you finish your point. So go ahead.
And I think PlayStation's gonna suffer the same fate. I think we're going to start seeing that with the PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm doing air quotes here. We're going to start seeing stuff like that with the PlayStation 5 Pro, where they're going to have a way more powerful system, or maybe an incremental. Either way, they're going to have to program games for that Pro and for the regular PS5, right?
Mm-hmm.
My point is done.
Okay. You know how like when all this was going on yesterday, I think like all the people that were kind of like, defending it kind of were like, game development's hard, blah, blah. I'm so tired of hearing people say like when something goes wrong, like game development's hard. It's like, I'm a paying customer. I mean, I feel like that's something that you only see like on the internet and Twitter because people want likes. So they're like, game development's hard. I don't want them to crunch. And like, obviously game developers that are crunching and working overtime, they should get paid for, probably first of all, they should get paid for their overtime or crunch. Right. I think that's like, I don't think that's like saying anything crazy. They should get paid, but it's not like they're chained to the fucking desks and like reacting like they've crunched, blah, blah, blah. It's nobody cares. Like if you went to a restaurant and they're like, they brought out your like steak and they're like, well, potatoes will come in like half an hour. The cook, he's got to take his 20-minute break. Would you be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. He's got to take his break or whatever. Like, no, give me my fucking potatoes. I want my potatoes.
Right. You're 100% right. They sit at a desk. Shoveling shit is hard, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you're obviously it's like
and,
doing
and
all that
if you're
stuff
a
is
shit shoveler and your boss says Joe Schmo called off, so you're gonna have to stay an extra 4 hours to shovel more shit. You're gonna have to stay 4 more hours to shovel more shit because you want to get paid for shoveling shit because it's your job.
Are you speaking from experience?
No, I'm not a shit shoveler.
Okay. But, no, that was something that like
promoted.
That irks me. Like it's like, dude, people like I was like, stop saying that. Nobody cares. Like nobody. I mean, you guys are just saying this for the likes. I don't want to hear like, oh, game dev's hard, or we don't want them to crunch. It's like, what if they did a crunch and got it out early, the game would have done better, and then their studio wouldn't have closed down.
If your job is too hard that you cannot complete your tasks in your allotted time, then maybe you need a new job,
right?
And they need a new employee,
right?
That
or you
yeah.
Need,
so
or you
I
need
think
to
we're
go
both
to your
on
work.
the same frame of mind here.
Or maybe working from home is not what's best for the product.
That too.
So,
and I think that's a big problem that Xbox has. I think that's part of the problem with signing. Way too lenient, signing bad talent.
Hands off.
Halo.
They're hands
5,
off.
I think it was when they assembled that new team that headed up Halo Infinite. Was it around that era?
Yeah.
yeah, they made a bunch of bad decisions because all they did was get big names and bring them on board, and nobody could agree on anything. So we got a shit game.
Right. That's
Speaking of more shit,
unfortunate. Dude, you're talking a lot of shit tonight.
I am.
But that's kind of where I'm at. I think we'll see. I mean, it could turn around for the but I just think it's it's easier to develop for the PS5. We'll see. That's what seems like the case is. I don't know, but that was kind of the point I was just going off at.
It might be too, though, because you're just programming for one system, not two variations of a system.
Right.
But like I said, I think it's going to go that way going forward. Where
Do you think this Redfall stuff is any indication that we need like the PS5 Pro or the Series X Pro?
no, my Series X. Oh, okay, I'm going to go off another Ubisoft tangent here
Oh boy.
because I was getting really mad too, right? I was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla on my Series X. That's where I bought it. Because when it was on sale, I don't think it was on Steam. It just recently came to Steam, and I'm not buying it on Steam. I think I might be done buying Ubisoft games on Steam.
Okay.
But I was playing the game on my Series X, right? It's on paper the most powerful console system out there, right?
Right.
On paper, it's slightly more powerful than the PS5.
Okay.
On paper.
Yeah.
Why am I having screen tearing on Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the most powerful console ever created? That shouldn't be happening.
There was a ton of, you know what? I never really knew what screen tearing was until I started playing. Far Cry 6 has a ton of screen tearing on PS5, and I'm like, oh, this is what screen tearing is. Yeah, and I'm like, dude, this is shit. I'm like, yeah,
annoying as hell.
I've never seen that really on any other game, really, other than that.
It's something you encounter in PC gaming, but there's workarounds that you could usually fix it, and settings you could adjust and remove the screen tearing.
Dude, it's it's almost when you were getting hijacked cable back in the day. That's what it looked like, the little line in there. Yeah, it's like trying to watch your game playing like that.
Yeah, so I was I don't think it's a problem of the current systems themselves. I think developers, I agree with you. I think they need to go back to the office and start working under a director's direction in person, because I think there's too much leeway, and think we're seeing that in the quality of our games and stuff like that.
Oh, we're 100% seeing that in the quality of the games.
And I don't think they're reaching the full potentials of these systems, either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just poor decisions too. Like the Last of Us stuff is like ridiculous. The PC,
speaking
that's
of which,
shady ass shit. Like they got that out there just for they knew all this stuff was wrong, and yeah.
The Last of Us 2 is currently on sale for $10. I got to buy that.
Yeah, get it. You need to play it.
So I could complain about it. I'm still trying to play through the first one. I really don't like it, but I'm going to play through it for you.
All right, we got a quick one here. Suicide Squad delayed to 2/24.
I think that's actually kind of hilarious.
February 2nd, 2024. What do you think?
I think I'm not pre-ordering that game. I think it's hilarious that they showed a preview they were all proud of. I think that's suffering from the same damn thing I just spoke about.
The gas games as a service stuff. I guess I don't think it was Schreier maybe reported that they're trying to remove the always online from that game.
They need to. That is one of the worst things to come.
I actually
in modern game.
Have the opinion that everybody's going to hate that it looked fairly decent.
I wanted to play it. I didn't want to pre-order it from that preview. I thought it looked better than Gotham Knights.
Yeah, Gotham Knights, and it looked like they just had to learn a lot of the lessons from Avengers, and I don't know, it looked fairly decent. It looked like something different. So I was kind of excited for it, but hopefully it turns out pretty good.
I still think it's going to wind up being fun because it is Rocksteady, and Rocksteady's awesome. I'm sad that it's not another actual Batman Arkham game, because those games are awesome.
It's going to be over 8 years since the last Rocksteady game when this comes out. Think about that.
Rocksteady. Did I call him something else, or did I call him Rocksteady?
No, I think you called him Rocksteady.
Okay.
Yeah, over 8 years and 7 months till this when this comes out since Arkham Knight. That's nuts.
Speaking of which, remember when Arkham Knight came out and it was having all kinds of problems? It released on PC in a really bad state too.
Iron Galaxy, and then they took it. They removed it from Steam.
Yeah, and I own it on Steam.
I liked
I don't
Arkham.
know if I've.
I liked Arkham Knight. I thought it was good. Everybody hated the Batmobile sections. I didn't mind
I
them. It
liked
was
the
like I
Batmobile.
did too. I thought it was a nice it broke up the gameplay a little bit.
Yeah, and kind of driving that thing around and slamming through stuff was kind of fun.
Right.
That game was a lot of fun.
It
Might
was
go back and play that now that we're talking about it.
last
I've yet to beat the second one.
Arkham City. I have never beaten that one either.
That's what it was.
I
Yeah,
beat Arkham. I beat the first one. I didn't beat City. I never played Origins, and I beat Arkham Knight.
Origins is okay. You could tell that it wasn't a Rocksteady game, but it was cool because it was still the same frame of the Rocksteady games, and it was a prequel, so you didn't have all your cool abilities.
Aunt Tony Pony. It looked good to me. People want another Batman Arkham game, but Rocksteady didn't want to make another game like that. They spent 10 years on the franchise. I know.
They actually
I'm
wanted
with
to make
you.
a Superman game,
Yeah,
but I
wish
forgot
they
who
would have.
wouldn't let them.
They should have made another Batman game, but like in the animated series universe. That would have been awesome because then they could have done like so much crazy shit with that. And that's like an iconic like art style kind of.
What, make it like cell shaded?
I mean, like the animated series, basically.
Yeah, take the characters and make them like what's a good cell shaded game?
And then you don't have to make like
Oh, there's that recent
a hi-fi rush. Is that what you're saying?
make it look like that.
Right, yeah, totally. And then
Oh,
you
it
could
would have
have
to be a hell of a lot darker.
you could have added Superman and got all kind of crazy with that, and it wouldn't take so long with because there's so much detail in the Arkham's games because of like the art style.
I would have liked to seen what they would have done with the Superman game.
Right, because wasn't that's what
Would it have
Suicide
turned it
Squad was
out
gonna
like
be.
Superman 64?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what they said. They reused a lot of that stuff. That's why Suicide Squad was in Metropolis, basically.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
they were into that game, making it,
Yep.
and then had to switch.
Yeah, that's the rumor, at least.
Oh, now I'm even more bummed.
Right. I was just interested in the story too. Of like you saw like Evil Flash. I'm like, oh, this looks pretty neat.
Yeah, yeah, the evil characters do look cool.
I mean, I've always wanted Injustice has an awesome story, but like make that into like an actual like game, which would seem like that's what they were kind of going for.
Yeah, yeah, I'll see it. I'll play it when it goes on sale, but it's not going to be a pre-order for me.
Did you watch the Final Fantasy 16 State of Play?
Whoa, wait, state of play. We should talk about the new Devil May Cry game that they announced in the state of play
Right, totally.
before we talk about Final Fantasy 16.
Right. What did you think?
I don't know. My wife kind of likes the look of it, so I think I'm going to pre-order it. But I still think Square Enix is in a lot of trouble. I liked what I saw of parts of the game. I think parts of it looked a little too... And I think this is a theme with their current game engine that they're using. It looked rather washed out. Like they saved the colors for the magic.
Yeah,
right?
I could see
It
that.
didn't look
Yeah.
a little bland to you, a little too flat until the character was doing magical attacks and stuff like that.
I was saying like so the faces don't look amazing. They look good, but they don't look like anything amazing. But I think it's like a very evenly good looking game. Like a lot of games will put like so much detail into the characters and the faces and stuff. But I feel like this one they kind of spread it out basically throughout the game. But yeah, the magic and stuff does look where they spent all their graphical resources basically.
Yeah, I think Final Fantasy 15. Now, I was actually a big fan of Final Fantasy 15. I don't remember if you played that one or not. Did you?
I did not like that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I think that game was brighter and more vibrant than what we saw today.
Really?
Yeah.
I hated the combat in that one, and you can only be Noctis.
Well, it's going to be the same thing in this one. All they're removing is the waiting you have to do before you hit the button again.
Right. I think that's why I love 7 so much, remake, because you could be all the different characters, and it was more action-y, but then you could also cast magic and stuff too. So I think it looks really good. I'm interested in the combat style. I think that they probably are going for more of an action combat style to draw in a bigger audience. I think the turn based just kind of like limits your audience. I think.
I think they're also feeding into the fans by going back to a
A medieval,
medieval,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
more fantasy. I don't think I saw any technology.
No, I didn't
So
see
I,
anything either. It does.
because
You have a doggo with you, which is I think that always like knocks the score up a bit.
at least 1 point.
Yes, a doggo with your at your side that just bumps it up at least 1 point.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get it, and I hope to God that's good. Oh,
I liked it.
I
Did you see like the traveling system in the world or whatever basically? So it
yeah,
almost
I don't know
looks
what I think
like
about that.
you know what? It almost looks like it's not open world, which that kind of excites me. Hopefully,
It looks like it's going to be big open areas,
right. And
but are
I
you
would
going to be
rather
able
have
to
that.
walk to an edge of an area into the next one, or are you going to be forced to go to that map and teleport to an
I would
area?
rather do that. I'm so effing tired of like open worlds. I don't need empty space in between like areas. Just
Well, I want that option to be there, right? Because yeah, I don't have
I don't
time
even
to.
care if it's just like you walk to the edge and it's just like invisible wall or something like that. I don't even care. Just don't make it like a boring open world.
Oh, that's going to draw away the immersion, though,
I
man.
don't care about it. I just don't want to waste any more time in these damn open world games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't have time to trek across entire open worlds. Hell, I barely had any time to ride around in England when I was playing more Ubisoft talk, playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Right. Yeah, I don't
Uh,
it looks good. I'm excited for it.
it looks like Devil May Cry
Yeah, I'm interested. The combat
and
looks
fantasy.
right. I didn't even think about that you only shows like really one character. You could have a partner. It has that female companion, but I don't know if it doesn't seem like you pick her really, so
No, it looks like they
it's
attack
like
automatically,
automatically, yeah.
and it had me wondering: are they going to have a system like they did in Final Fantasy 12, where you controlled one character, but you gave like if this happens, do this commands in like a menu. I wonder if they're going to have a system like that, or if it's just going to be fully automated. I'm willing to bet from the options they showed that you're going to have no input or very little input on your companions, that they're just going to be there spitting off spells and attacking enemies.
Probably. I'm just glad that hopefully it's not a big open world, and yeah, that just caught my eye. I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. If we're just gonna fast travel to big open areas, and the story looks interesting too.
Quick time events. Why?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think they've got to like kind of casual it up a little bit.
That's
They,
casual gamers don't like that. Nobody likes quick time events.
I don't know. It's just more. I think it's more appealing to a more casual crowd. I think they're
I
just gonna save the turn-based stuff and like the deep RPG elements for like the Octopaths and like the smaller games probably, and just try and go with a more action-based for these big
are
budget
you
games.
are you going to play it on the story mode?
Oh no, hell no, no hell no. I was
It's an RPG. It doesn't need a story mode.
right, yeah, totally. It is a story mode.
But I don't have time to be grinding levels and stuff like that either anymore.
I
Too,
was
so
disappointed. I was surprised that we didn't get a demo today
yeah, it's
because
coming kind of soon too, isn't it? In June?
the 26th, I think, yeah, of June, and they give demos for like all their games. I don't.
Yeah, they did demos for Final Fantasy 15,
I'm pretty sure
and
7 Remake got one. I know like both the Octopaths got one, that Triangle strategy game got one, Forspoken got one, so I was surprised. I mean, there's still time, like they can probably do it like next month when it's a month away, but I would be shocked if they didn't have one. But like
probably.
you would think like at this big, Final Fantasy state of play that just focused on the game, that was when you would drop the demo, but maybe it's not ready, or maybe we're not getting one.
Maybe it's the type of game that doesn't mold well to a demo. Even though
Could
that Final
be.
Fantasy 15 demo, uh, it didn't seem like it was a demo. It seemed like you were in the entire world, but it had invisible walls, like we were talking about earlier, where you couldn't
Oh
go
yeah.
past. And it didn't even represent the main story or anything like that, if I remember right. It even had its own special name. I don't remember what it was called, but I downloaded it and played it, and That's what sold me on the game way back whenever that game came out. I don't know. Demo comes out, I think I'm gonna avoid it too, just in case it does have story spoilers, because the story does look interesting in that game. So I'm going to be looking forward to that.
And I believe that I think the story is from like the Final Fantasy 14 writer. And I guess
And
that's the MMO one. I guess that has like some of the best, from what people have said, some of the best story in any Final Fantasy game. And I do believe that they hired the what is it? The DMC, someone from DMC. They did hire to do the
I
combat.
told you it looked like Devil May
Yeah,
Cry.
yeah. I thought
I didn't even know
forgot
that.
about it. Yeah, I believe that's what the word is. That like they got someone from the DMC team to come do the combat for this. So
And
you would
now
imagine it's going
things
to be
are
decent. You'd imagine it's going to
making
be
sense.
decent.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to play.
Yeah, but yeah, just
And
don't
the
get the
story looks
footage
cool.
is up right now. Yeah, I mean the faces like they don't look bad, but they don't look like anything spectacular. But I mean the environments look good.
Look at it right now. Everything
I could
looks
see
washed
you.
out. It
I could
looks
see where you're saying yeah, a lot of the stuff looks a little washed out or whatever.
gray or brown.
Right? Maybe that's just like the artistic, yeah, like a brownish color. That's kind
But
of what
that's
they're shooting
been
for.
every Square Enix game I played. I got that new Valkyrie profile game. What was it called?
Elysium.
Yeah, and it also looked, well, it actually looked more like a PlayStation 2 game. It looked that bland, that washed out, and that game was rather boring as well. That's why I'm saying I think it might be something to do with the engine that they're currently using. Maybe they need to go
I
back to the drawing board and
I don't know which. I know. Oh yeah, I was on a different Discord earlier, and I guess this is not the Final Fantasy VII remake engine.
really.
Yeah,
Well, it does not look impressive. I'll say that. It doesn't
I mean,
look bad.
I think the overall game looks impressive, but yeah, I mean, I don't think the faces and like models look like the magic. I think they're using a lot of graphical resources for the magic here. It's like very bright, and maybe they wanted the magic and everything else to contrast from the setting and stuff.
Maybe, and I hope we get more of that
And
when
these,
we
I'm
play the
interested in
game.
these monster battles, basically.
Yeah, they look
I'm
neat.
that looks like I'm not sold on that part.
It looks it doesn't look like it looks like it's going to be easy, right? These
Right.
battles. It looks like it's going to be all show and kind of button mashy.
Yeah. And they showed there's almost like Monster Hunter hunts, it looks like something like that. But wasn't that in 15 basically? Didn't you have like hunts that you could go on?
Yeah, it wasn't like Monster Hunter. It was just like almost like bounties.
Okay, yeah, I think
Like,
that
oh, I'll pay you this much for this monster if you go kill it.
right. The 4K video, and Tony Pony said, yeah, the 4K video I watched later does look a lot better.
I watched it on 4K,
Did you?
and it. I'm not saying the game looks bad. I'm just saying it looks
The
bland.
color palette that they chose, correct? Is that what you're trying
Yeah,
to say?
graphically, I think Resident Evil 4 looks better than this game. I'm
Oh,
just
100%.
talking about
I think this is
their game engine.
this is a bigger game than Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, going back to how we were talking about these current gen systems and maybe needing a new, more powerful system, this is another instance of I don't think they're using them to their full power.
Right, totally. But I mean,
I,
I don't know. We'll see when this comes out and see how it runs. Basically,
yeah, I think it'll run fine. As long as it doesn't release like Final Fantasy 15, where that game came out and I could go make a burger and come back and the game was still loading.
oh my god, yeah, that
I don't know if you remember that. That was some of the worst load times I've ever experienced.
I don't remember because I hated that game and I didn't get super far in it. It
Well,
just it was just boring. I felt like because that first open area where you were out in like I don't know, driving around in the car that was boring as hell to me.
I thought that was cool. I thought it was, three friends out in the world hanging out,
I like the
doing their
music.
thing.
I like the music and stuff, but yeah, I didn't care for the game. I thought Final Fantasy VII Remake was way, way better. But I'm a Final Fantasy VII stan, so I can't. That's kind of where
I
I'm at.
Still haven't beaten the remake. I thought Final Fantasy VII remake was okay. It looks really good. I don't know why they didn't use that engine.
Yeah, I think
That
it's
game
probably
looks
just a different internal
brighter than
developer or
this
whatever.
game, in my
Oh, it's
opinion.
super. Yeah, that one's super bright. The one thing I'm worried about in this that I will say in Seven Remake I didn't like was the side quests. I thought the side quests were pretty mid, and it
Yeah.
felt like a lot of padding. It's like, oh, there's these four cats. Go round up these four cats and bring them back. It's like, oh my god, come on, seriously. Hopefully, maybe since it's a medieval setting, they've got like some better side quests. I think that's what they can improve on from Seven Remake.
No, you're still going to be hunting for four. This time it's going to be six cats because it's a PlayStation 5.
Right.
You got to go find the lady's six cats.
And then they said that it's going to be taking place during this guy Clyde's teens, 20s, and 30s. So
That's another part I don't think I'd like to hear. I don't care for time jumps. I didn't care for the time jump in Final. There's a to spoil a little bit.
oh
There's a
yeah,
big
isn't there? Yeah,
time
because
jump in Final Fantasy 15 where your
right.
character basically goes to sleep and then you wake
What?
up and the world's destroyed.
Oh god, I've tried to go back and play it and I just couldn't.
Maybe you should give another shot on the newer systems because the new hard drives, the SSDs, they actually make the loading way faster to get in and out of the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried. I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to go back.
All right.
I don't
Maybe
think
one
so.
day I could talk you into it.
But I think this setting definitely looks a lot better than 15 for me, at least the medieval setting. Yeah, see, the magic looks awesome in this combat.
Yeah, the magic does. I'm not saying anything bad about the magic. I just think overall, see right here, it looks way brighter with all the green and everything like that. But all the other shots they've been showing, this is just
Well,
super bland.
well, like right here, kind of, it looks a little,
Yeah,
yeah,
not. It doesn't look graphically intensively bad. It just looks washed out to me.
gotcha. So you're saying it looks like shit?
Yeah,
Is that what you were
more
telling me?
shit, more shit for the shovel.
Oh shit! All right, you got anything else really? Did that cover everything?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to
Oh,
introduce a new segment into your show.
okay.
I'm going to take over a little corner here, and I'm going to introduce a segment that I'm going to call Rebel Recommends.
Oh, that's okay. Go for it.
And this week, I'm going to recommend a game called Loop Hero.
You know what? That is one of the like PlayStation Plus extra premium games for April.
Is it really?
Yeah, and I remember you telling
Oh,
me the game is good.
yeah. It's really cool. If you like games like, well, to bring it back up again, Vampire Survivor, uh, roguelites, right? Where you
Okay.
go on a run, you get as far as you can, you collect some resources perhaps, and when you die, you go back, you take some of those resources back with you, you make your character a little bit stronger, and then you go back out again. That kind of gameplay loop, if you're into that, Loop Hero is awesome. I got it on Steam, I got it on the Switch. It doesn't perform all that great on a controller. It's a
Okay.
little bit better with a mouse because it has cards too. Basically, what it is the world vanishes, and all that's left is you, your character. And you go out, and the game builds this random loop, and you go around this loop killing monsters.
Okay.
They always start off as slimes, and after you kill them, you might get a card, or you might get equipment. You equip the equipment, you get stronger. If you get cards, they're tiles that you could place down. Like one might be a forest, and you place that down, and it will increase your attack speed by 1%. So basically, as you're killing enemies, you're getting these cards to rebuild the world. And after making so many loops around, collecting these cards, getting stronger, getting better equipment, putting down cards on the loop itself, which summons different monsters that might be stronger or might give you different equipment, you fight a boss. And either you win or lose against the boss. If you lose, you go back to like a little hub town where you upgrade your character, and you get to keep some of your uh, resources. If you win, you could actually go back with all of your resources, so you get to upgrade more. It's a Just like
Interesting.
Vampire Survivors, where you get that little bit better each time you play. It's got that little addiction quality to it.
Okay. Is it like over the top style or?
It's very mm, not graphically intensive.
Well, no, yeah. I mean,
Put it that way.
I don't care if it's graphically intensive. Like, is it over
It's
the top?
2D. You're
Is it
looking
2D?
from
Okay.
the top
Top.
down.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So it is very similar to Vampire Survivors.
Yeah.
Oh,
Except you don't control your character at all. You're just choosing what cards to play, what
okay.
equipment to equip. Everything you when you get into battles, they're automated. So yeah, it's actually kind of like Vampire Survivors 2, where the battles are automated in that.
Nice. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I think that's on PS Plus Extra and Premium
It's also
starting.
on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass too.
Yeah.
You said that's on Switch too?
Yeah, it's on Switch. That was
Wow.
the first console it came to.
Dude, I was
I don't know if you could use touchscreens on that. I'll have to check. I'll check and see if you could use the touchscreen with it. If you could use the touchscreen, then that will make it better because it's more like a mouse then.
Vampire Survivors gets kind of crazy after a while. I was even wondering if that could even run on the Switch when it gets like all the way like super intensive.
I don't think it could run on the Switch. I had a run last night before bed where so much was going on the screen I couldn't see what I was killing, so I just set the controller down and let the 30 minutes play out. My character was so buffed up with so many projectiles on screen, nothing was getting close to me. And I came back after getting something to drink, and death came and killed
Gotcha.
me. But
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that could go. Maybe I'll have to pick it up if I get a Steam Deck. But I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
no, just
That's a.
leave a
Is that
like.
going to be a show?
That's going to be a show.
I think
Leave a comment.
tomorrow I'm going to put together my thoughts on this Final Fantasy 16 state of play, and yeah, looking to wrap up. Go back to her wrap up Hogwarts, get back into Horizon, and hopefully jump into the DLC next week and have some thoughts on that. If it comes out Wednesday or Thursday, I don't know if I'll have any thoughts by the podcast, but we'll see. But yeah, if you're new here, we do these podcasts every Thursday at 9 p.m. Make sure to hit that like button. Consider subscribing.
9 p.m.
And
Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern. That's right. Yes. And I will see you guys later. Thanks.
Thank you. Adios.